So we're back with a new video, and this time we're going to talk about the struggles artists must face along the journey to become better. So no further ado, and let's get into the video. So I think we're going downwards. We're going from tip number 5 to tip number 1. Actually, these are not tips, but more like struggles and problems that artists face the most. So on the 5th place, we have money problems. So artists is a very popular thing in the world, but it's also hard to become an artist. If I'm being honest, it's almost impossible actually, but for some people it works out. So as an artist, you need to organize your schedule a lot to manage your time and manage your time carefully. Why? Because most people as an artist, they have like print shop, they have tutorials, they have time lapse, they have Patreon, they have like the data draw, the data sketch, and so on. Like they have a lot to do, and if all these things as for one person, it can become very harsh to do. I'm not saying it's not possible. What I'm saying is that it's hard to become an artist, especially because you need very much patience. And actually when you try, especially when you try to earn your first payment, that's one thing that's going to be very hard to do, especially to earn your first, like, I don't know, $10. That's the thing. Earning your first $10 is always the hardest part to get, and the first $100 is also very hard to do. But if you don't have the patience, then it will eventually, the passion will eventually disappear very fast. So what you need to do is you have to wait patiently for you to become bigger. You have to practice a lot, you have to draw a lot, you have to schedule out all your plan for how you're going to achieve that goal. So artist, it's a very hard job to do, but once you actually, it will eventually become very fun for you to do. And most artists I know, they have like this print shop, they do YouTube videos, they do tutorials, they have a Patreon where they post things, they post weekly, they have like, they're very organized, and there's a lot to do when being an artist, especially when you're trying to earn as an artist. If you just try to draw for fun to post on social media, that's something else. But if you're trying to make it out of living, that's a very risky thing. So on the 4th place, we have knowledge, and this is something that many new beginners are very skeptical with. Like they don't know actually where to start, and this is something that makes really many people quit very fast. So everyone thinks that to be an artist means you have to know everything: fundamentals, color, perspective, anatomy, lighting, buildings, structures, and so much more. All that knowledge can be very heavy to carry, and for some people, they quit before even understanding the very first topic. By hearing this, you might think, yeah, I'm not going to be an artist. Well, let me tell you something. You don't have to be a genius to learn art. I don't even fully know anatomy or perspective or color theories, and I use references for anatomy all the time. Why? Because my memory isn't that good. What I'm trying to say is that you don't have to know everything to become a great artist. If you're a character designer, you don't need to know how to draw buildings. Maybe if you want to be an illustrator, you have to know perspectives, you have to know how to draw buildings. But why? Because you want to make a piece that looks good when hanging on the wall, maybe, and that means you have to learn buildings. But if you're just a character designer, you don't have to know how to draw buildings, because that's not what you're passionate about. Most artists draw buildings because they like it, and most people draw characters because they like it. Some might be better to draw environments than drawing characters, some might be better to draw characters than draw environments. And like, you don't have to know everything to be a great artist. What you need to know is that, what do you like? Like, is that something you like more than another? Do you like to draw characters more than drawing buildings? Do you like to draw animals more than drawing characters, humans? And let's just say you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know every single theme, every single topic in the art subject to be able to become a great artist. And that's the thing. Many people think they have to know everything before actually becoming a great artist. Like they have to spend hours all day long reading all the topics and memorize them and understanding them. And the thing is that if you do that, you will burn out in like a very short period of time, because like many people do, is that when they overwork, they will eventually quit at some time. And so for me, is that you don't have to know everything to become a great artist. Focus on the thing you love the most, and if you want to become better, you can begin to learn other subjects and other topics. Like if you draw characters and you feel like you understand how character and how an anime works, you can go over to the next phase where it's buildings, and maybe you can go the character side and know color theory, how to paint skin. And so don't try to overwork yourself. Know what you're trying to draw, know what you want to be good to draw before actually getting started. So tip number 3 is trust issues. So as an artist, I see a lot of art tutorials, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Blue Skies, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, and so on. I see a lot of art tutorials, and for a long period of time I didn't know who to trust, and I just followed every single art tutorial I saw, and that was something I shouldn't do, because when I did it I received a lot of wrong information and my art didn't look right for a very long period of time. And this is the thing that many people, actually new beginners, do. They will believe everything they see, especially because nowadays everyone can become an artist just by posting something and then call it a day, not pretending like they know everything just to gain views. And so who do you know actually who to trust? And the thing is that you have to be very careful. So if you see, let's just say if you go on TikTok, there will be some time where you get these videos of someone who draw and doesn't say anything at all in the video. That might be not so good to follow, because that might be from someone who doesn't actually know how to draw. And there's also these people who post time lapses, but that's something else. They actually prove they can draw. So when they post an art tutorial, they can actually post an art tutorial because they have already proven they know how to draw by setting a time lapse. And if you see this channel who's posting a lot of these sketches and they drawing a head and drawing a circle and all that stuff without actually saying a word, that might be because they don't actually know what they're doing, just doing something they watch online. So be careful who you trust, and be careful who you follow from what tutorials you're looking for. So for me is that I always like to look up the artists I like. If I like their work, I will look up the artist and I will follow how they do it. I'm not following every single artist I see. There will be a lot. There will be 6,000, 10,000 of different artists across all my social medias. So I pick out maybe 3 or 4 different artists and I follow along their journey. And this is something this is some advice I actually received from a great art YouTuber. I think his name is Kesh or something. But what I'm trying to say is that you have to be careful what advice you receive, and you don't have to follow every single artist. If you don't like this artist but like his work, you can follow along. But if you like more this artist than this artist and you believe you have to follow both journey, you don't. You can combine those two, but you don't actually have to follow every single artist's methods how to draw. Every person is unique and have a different style. And yeah. So the second art tip that I'm going to share with you is how to choose your path. This is a struggle many people are struggling with, and I struggled with this a long time. How do I actually know what path to actually choose, and how do I know what style I want to do? And for an artist, there is no specific path to walk. You'll always learn something new on the way, and studying just from one artist will eventually just take you into an art block at some time, because the artist thinks different than you do. And if you're trying to picture the same image and try to look up the same artist every single time, there will be eventually sometimes where you will run out of ideas because the picture in your head doesn't match what you're trying to create. And so how do you actually choose your path? And the thing is, you never know what's behind the wall and the next and the next, because every time you think you finish, there's always something new to learn. Your path as an artist has no limits. It's unlimited, and it first stops when you think you're ready and you think you have the knowledge you need. And I'm just trying to say that artists, it's unlimited. There will always be something new to learn, and it will first be accomplished if you think or believe or feel like you have finished what you were trying to do. You have reached the end of your journey, and you have reached the art style you wanted to achieve. Then I would say you're finished. But other than that, there's actually no limits at all. There's no finish line at all in art. So the first and last tip I'm going to share in this video is about AI. So AI, it's becoming more and more advanced, and it's making many people quit being an artist before even actually getting started. I mean, what's even the point of drawing when a bot can do it better? Now, hear me out. AI isn't art. For those who use AI to make your work and talk about how hard it is to type a prompt into a computer. Like, seriously, come on. How is that even something? How is that even art? And how lazy can you actually be? An artist has to spend hours drawing line after line after line. And that's the thing, that's the beautiful thing about artists, to struggle to actually feel the pain and suffering from a lot of failed attempts. That's the beautiful thing about art. And then that feeling you don't get when typing things into a computer. You don't get the failing attempt. Like, oh, wow, you made a spelling grammar, that's a failed attempt. No, it isn't. A failed attempt is when you make something, but you spend hours on it, and in the end, you're not happy with it. That's a failed attempt. And maybe you can write a very long text for hours, but where's the practice? Where is the physical pain you receive? Where's the physical strength you use to actually make that art? The computer made all the work, and AI isn't the same as an artist. You have to go through a lot of failed paintings to actually become a great artist. And instead of learning, you're just actually taking from other people's work. Of course, AI can be used for other things, like writing, or like spelling grammar, or like doing captures or something, but just not to become an artist. You cannot call yourself an actual artist just from typing words into a computer and make a piece for you. That's not how art works. And in the end, you can be an artist. Yes, it may take a little bit of time and effort, but if first you make it to that level you want to be, it will be one of the funniest thing in the world. And imagine being able to like create all these images and all these characters you picture in your own mind in your style, because no one else would. And so art takes time, and that is something everything does. There's no easy path to become a better artist. You have to do a lot of practice to actually become good. There's no fast way, or there's no easy way. There's no like 10 steps to become an artist. You have to just do it. You have to draw a lot to actually become better. It's like a workout session. You cannot skip 1 week and then become buff as hell. You cannot work out for 1 week and then become muscular unless you take cheat codes. That's like art. There's no way you can become the best artist like the one you look up to just from 1 week of drawing. So art takes time, and have fun with it. Don't try to push yourself to actually become better. Just try to take it one step at a time. And that's it for this video.